Welcome back to Tech Vibe. Today, we're talking about one of the most hyped handheld gaming devices of the year. This is the ROG Ally X. It's the next step in ASUS's journey into portable gaming, and it's packed with upgrades. If you've been waiting for a device that brings the power of a gaming PC into your hands, this one might be it. Let's get into what makes the Ally X so exciting and what has changed from the original. Ally. The ROG Ally X is still a handheld gaming console, but now it feels more refined. It's familiar in shape, but the design has improved. The black matte finish looks cleaner and doesn't attract fingerprints like the older model. It feels solid and more premium in the hands. The grips are slightly larger now. That means better comfort during long sessions. And trust me, that makes a huge difference when you're playing something like Elden Ring or Cyberpunk 2077 for hours. Asus also redesigned the internals. It still uses the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme chip, which is fast and reliable, but they've paired it with more RAM. Now you get 24 GB of LPDDR5 RAM. That's a step up from 16 GB in the original Ally. This allows better multitasking and smoother gaming. You can feel it when you switch between games or load heavy titles. Games like Forza Horizon 5 and Resident Evil 4 Remake load faster and run more smoothly. The SSD also gets an upgrade. It now supports a full-size M2 2280 NVMe SSD. That means faster speeds and easier future upgrades. If you want to install tons of games, this is a big win. No more worrying about storage limits too early. You'll also appreciate how easy it is to open the device now. ASUS made it more repair-friendly. The cooling system is another big improvement. The fans are slightly larger, and the airflow design is more efficient. This helps keep the device cooler even during long sessions. I played Baldur's Gate 3 for over 2 hours straight, and the device stayed surprisingly quiet. It didn't heat up as much as the older version. That's a huge plus for performance and comfort. The battery is now 80 watts. That's almost double the size of the previous Ally. This was one of the biggest complaints about the original, and Asus clearly listened. In real use, the Ally X lasts between 6 to 8 hours, depending on the settings and game. That's a massive improvement. You no longer feel rushed to plug in after just a couple of hours. The display remains a 7-inch 1080p touchscreen with a 120Hz refresh rate. It's bright, colorful, and responsive. Playing fast-paced games like Doom Eternal or Apex Legends looks and feels great. The high refresh rate gives that extra smoothness, and the colors really pop. The screen is still protected with Gorilla Glass, so it's tough and scratch-resistant. On the software side, Asus continues to use Armoury Crate, say. This is where you manage your games, settings, and performance modes. It's been improved slightly. It runs more smoothly and now has better customization options. Switching between turbo, performance, and silent modes is quicker. And game library organization is cleaner. Windows 11 is still the main OS, so you can run PC games, launchers like Steam, Epic, and Xbox Game Pass without issues. It also means you can use the Ally X like a mini PC, add a keyboard and monitor, and you can do productivity work too. I tested it with Adobe Premiere and Lightroom, and it handled light editing pretty well. The audio is pretty solid. You get front-facing stereo speakers. They're loud and clear enough for gaming and watching videos. There's also a 3.5mm headphone jack for wired audio. If you prefer Bluetooth, it supports the latest Bluetooth version with better stability. I tried it with my wireless earbuds, and the connection stayed stable with minimal delay. The ROG Ally X also adds a second USB-C port, which is a welcome addition. Now you can charge and connect accessories at the same time. This fixes one of the biggest annoyances with the original Ally. It's a small change, but a really smart one. Gaming performance is the real highlight. With the upgraded RAM and cooling, the Ally X handles demanding games more smoothly. I played Spider-Man Remastered on high settings, and it ran at 60 FPS with no noticeable drops. Starfield and Alan Wake 2 also performed well when settings were adjusted slightly. Lighter games like Hollow Knight, Hades, and Stardew Valley run flawlessly. This balance of power and portability is exactly what makes the Ally X exciting. Now let's talk about the price. Asus is pricing the ROG Ally X at around $799 at launch. That's a little more than the first model, but considering the upgrades, battery, more RAM, easier upgrades, it makes sense. It's not cheap, but it's fair for what you get. Of course, there are some downsides. It's still running Windows, which means sometimes you have to deal with drivers, updates, or occasional bugs. And while it's more comfortable than before, it's still heavier than a Nintendo Switch or Steam Deck, old. If you play on the go a lot, that extra weight might be something to think about. But overall, the ROG Ally X feels like a complete package. Asus took what worked in the original and fixed most of what didn't. Better battery, better thermals, better expandability. This feels like what the Ally should have been from the start. If you skipped the first model, this is the one to get. Thanks for watching Tech Vibe. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more honest reviews and tech breakdowns. Let us know in the comments, would you buy the ROG Ally X or stick with something like the Steam Deck or Legion Go? Catch you in the next one.